Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new malicious compliance content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
First one is titled, My Meal Must Be Salt-Free. This story is from a dinner party I hosted before the pandemic. I invited 6 folks and shortly after the invites were sent I received a call from Sally. Sally, not her real name, advised me that she was now on a salt-free diet due to medical reasons. She advised that at home she cooked without any salt and gave me a speech about how wonderful salt-free life was. I was skeptical and advised her that I would personally find it difficult to give up all salt. Was she sure she wasn't just on a low-sodium diet? Sally advised that unless her dish was salt-free she wouldn't be attending. While telling her no was an option, I'm not that person. I was pissed off at Sally for years of being difficult at the dinner table in restaurants. Trust me, there was always something wrong with her meal, or its preparation, or the flavor, or the waiter, or... With a smile so large you could hear it through the phone, I assured her that her request for salt-free was 100% going to be accommodated. On the dinner night I prepped the meal. Sally was getting the same thing as everything else with one critical difference. All of her food was prepped in separate containers, baked on separate racks, and seasoned with exactly the same flavors sans salt. Dinner time and my guest arrived. I have all of Sally's food plated on white plates. Everyone else gets gray plates. First round. Appetizers. Fried calamari with a lemon jalapeno butter sauce. This dish typically has salt in both the batter and the sauce. As Sally couldn't have that, I battered her calamari in salt-free seasonings and flour. Her condiment looked exactly the same but was made with unsalted butter and no added salt. I place Sally's plate in front of her first and she immediately states she asked for salt-free. I assure her that her dish is salt-free and I made sure to cook hers separate and even use a different colored plate to keep it straight. We all sit to talk and enjoy the squid. Sally takes a bite and makes a face. Mine has no flavor, she exclaims. All of my other guests tell Sally it's divine, delicious, best they've had, etc. I smile at Sally and assure her that her dish was flavored exactly as everyone else. The only difference is that she received absolutely no salt. It's at this point that Sally has a moment of clarity. It's painfully obvious on her face. She realizes she can't complain about the lack of salt as she's already told the table about her salt-free life. She also can't claim it tastes terrible if everyone else is raving about the food. She literally looks like she was about to cry at the table. As my guests enjoy their dinner, Sally is slowly doing the toddler plays with her food munch and pushing her calamari around the plate. After a few moments she reaches for the sauce that I made for everyone else. Sally, be careful, the salt-free sauce is in the white bowl. That one has salt. She mumbles something about wanting to taste the difference before literally dumping the bowl on her calamari. She then exclaims how much better it tasted. You and I know that, of course, things taste better with salt. So this drama repeated itself over the main course of honey-roasted salmon with pine nuts. I also am no heathen and had both salt and pepper on the table for my guest. I'm not going to judge you for needing more flavor. Here we go. Sally takes a bite of her fish and once again realizes that it has no salt. She reaches for the salt shaker and conversation stops. Another guest asks Sally if she was okay with adding salt to her food. She says that she can occasionally have salt. She proceeds to shower her fish with salt sprinkles. I also baked some cookies for dessert. The dough uses a little salt. I made sure to whip up a separate batch of cookies wrapped to go for her. Salt-free, of course. When I handed her those cookies, the look of defeat that hit her face warmed my heart. Dinner is over, everyone is happy except for Sally. I called her the next week to make sure she was okay as she's consumed sodium at my party. Sally told me her doctor has removed her sodium restrictions and she won't need that accommodation at future meals. On the phone I congratulate her for her good health. When I hang up I laugh until my sides hurt. Salt-free life apparently doesn't taste good when the salt is actually omitted. Note: to any on a low or no sodium diet, for their health I commend you. Sally, however, wasn't actually on this diet. This is evidenced by her shock at how salt-free food tasted. I confirmed with her husband that she's never stopped using salt at home. Her salt-free claims were a ploy for attention that backfired tastelessly. Edit. Common question: why are we friends? Sally is married to one of my best friends. As my friend has elected to stay married to her, I have tolerated her. I wouldn't call her a friend, but we are where we are. Comment. I truly empathize with those living with medically restrictive diets. Life is hard enough without that being added into the mix. This is funny and I'm sharing it with Sally's husband. He needs to get some first-hand knowledge of all the reasons claiming false dietary restrictions just isn't okay. And I want to be clear: never tamper with someone's food. This MC worked because no harm could come to Sally. Last one is titled, I bent the rules and gave you a $50 discount and you're still not happy? Enjoy the $15 one instead that you were initially meant to get. I used to work at a call center for a large Canadian telecommunications company. They are a service provider for TV, internet, home phones and cell phones. I was a customer care agent and at the time I was working in the end of promotions department. I'd be the person you speak with when your 1 or 2 year discount was set to expire. I had been through many different departments before I was moved to the end of promotion team, so I had access to multiple discounts a regular care agent wouldn't have access to because they never changed my authorization when I was moved to the new department. This allowed me to bend the rules quite a bit when it came to renewing promotions for some customers. Now most care agents have limited discounts they can give. Typically the system would generate a discount for a customer's account, based on their tenure and services with us. That's what the company claimed, which I find to be BS, as I have seen accounts that were created back in 1999 that would be tagged for only $10 off, and sometimes nothing at all, and they would have to pay in market rates. This is where my access level came in handy. If I spoke with a customer who was super polite and gave me no trouble or stress, I would apply a better discount than what was originally tagged, especially if I see they've been with us for years and even sometimes decades. Example: tagged for $20 off, give $35 or $40 off instead. Now the company always claimed they keep track if we apply discounts that a customer wouldn't be eligible for, but I think that was also BS because I did this to many accounts and it never came up during meetings with my manager. So one day I get a call, a customer that's been with the company for a year or two. Let's call him Mark. So Mark's promotion is coming to an end pretty soon, and he is looking to get a new one, and at the same time upgrade his services. He was on a mid-tier TV package and had 500 Mbps unlimited internet. If I recall, he was probably paying around $140 per month. He wanted to move up to our highest TV package and our gigabit internet plan, which is the highest you can get for both TV and internet with this company. And this said company is not a budget service provider, so typically that combination of products would cost around $180 before taxes. And the price just climbs up depending on how many boxes you have for the TV, if you have a home phone, and if you have any extra TV add-ons. So I tell him I will gladly look into it and place him on hold. Since he was very polite and I was in a good mood, I was happy to bend the rules for him, especially after seeing he was only tagged for a $15 discount. He had a $25 discount before, so he would have been paying $10 more if he wanted to keep his services the same, and definitely a whole lot more if he upgraded to the highest packages. So eventually I come back to him with a $50 discount for 1 year. He will still be paying more for making that change, but it's a whole lot better than the $15 off that he was supposed to get initially. Now all of the sudden his attitude and tone does a complete 180. He starts getting angry and starts getting rude. He was talking as if he thought I was joking when I said $50 is the most we could give him. He went on a rant how he's been with us for so many years and how he deserves to pay less than what he was paying before and on top of that get upgraded services. I explained that unfortunately because he is upgrading to our highest packages then the increase in price is inevitable. I informed him that if he wanted to, this same discount could be applied to his current services and he'd be saving $25 more than what he's been paying. Then he pulls the same card I hear so often like, well my friend has that package and is only paying $80, or, I see newer customers getting it for so much less, which in most cases, sure, it can happen, but with the combination of products he has I know 100% he was just pulling these prices out of his butt. He got angrier and was demanding that he gets a better discount, and on top of that he wanted the Crave Movies HBO add-on, costs $19.99. For free for a year on top of that for wasting his time. I start to get frustrated and explain once again that it is not something we can do and the $50 is the best we can offer. He asks to speak to retention, which at the time was the end of promotion department, and I explain that he is already speaking with them. He starts to lose it and says he wants to speak to a manager because he wants to pay what he feels like he should pay based on his tenure, which again was only around 2 years. Which may seem like a long time but in this kind of industry it doesn't mean much. We do have a dedicated team of managers that take calls when a customer is going apeshit. Their primary goal is just to defuse the situation but they are not there to give better discounts if we already went through the best options, and they always made that very clear. I explain that a manager cannot provide a better discount but I can still transfer him to one, as it is company policy to get them to a manager if they request one, no matter what. So I place him on hold, and what we do is speak to the manager on the line first to explain the situation and the options we as an agent went through before escalating, and then they take the call from there. Usually you're supposed to disconnect from the call once you patch the customer through but sometimes I like to stick around and mute myself just to listen to the manager tell the customer the exact same thing I already told them. Their reactions are usually priceless. So I explained to the manager, we'll call him Fred, that I had already offered the customer a way better discount than what he had before. I was worried they would question why or how I gave them more than what they were tagged for but this manager didn't seem to care. I explained how now he wanted to pay less than what he used to pay, while upgrading to our highest package and now on top of that have a $20 add-on given to him for free for a year. Fred scoffs because they understood how ridiculous that was and told me to patch him through. I add Mark to the call, introduce him to Fred and explain they will take the call from there. Now all of a sudden he's acting very polite again and says, "Oh thank you so much op. I hope you have a good rest of your day, take care." And continues this act while he talks to the manager, as if he wasn't just screaming at the top of his lungs at me moments ago. I stick around to hear the conversation play out. Fred does a quick rundown of what Mark was asking us to do just to make sure nothing was missed, and Mark says yep that all sounds right to me. Then Fred pretty much tells him what he is asking for cannot be done and that I had already offered the best discount we can provide, and explained that most customers pay way more for what he is being upgraded to. He starts getting angry again and starts yelling that he is being mistreated as a long-term customer and is threatening to cancel all of his services with us and move to a competitor. Fred says he is sorry he feels that way and that if he would like they can start the cancellation procedure for him. Mark had enough and hung up right after. I got a kick from hearing that and went on with my day. A month goes by. I'm taking calls and having a good day. It's slow, not a lot of callers but the ones I do get have been very nice, and suddenly a call comes in. The account pops up. I do quick look over the account summary and see the customer's name, it looks familiar. I check the account's previous interactions and see mine and Fred's from a month ago. A big smile goes across my face as I am speaking to none other than Mark, calling us back again. Now this kind of thing is very rare. With a company this big we typically have a lot of callers and a lot of employees, so it's extremely uncommon that I speak to the same person more than once. I'm thinking because it was a slow day, they had given early leave to the agents who wanted it, so there must not have been a lot of agents online taking calls, thus having this call routed to me since I was unavailable. I do the standard greeting, Thank you for calling, how can I help? But in the inside I've got a shit-eating grin on my face because I know he is most likely calling us back because his discount had expired and his price has gone up. He is either calling to cancel or try and get a discount again. I was right on the nose with that one. He calls saying that his discount has expired and he is looking to get a new one. Now Mark didn't seem to recognize that he was talking to me again. He thought I was just a different agent because he mentioned he was given an offer from someone about a month ago that he was looking to accept. Here's where the malicious compliance comes in. As per our last call, you said you wanted a discount based off your tenure? Sure thing. As a matter of fact, the system has already generated a whopping $15 off based on that. I explained that unfortunately because he is calling after his discount has ended, the original discount we had offered is now expired, and now we only have a $15 discount available. He starts to lose it again. Now in some cases this actually does happen, where if a discount isn't accepted before the other one expires, the new offer also expires and cannot be added. I can agree it's some slimy crap that this company does so they get more money. In this case because the original $50 discount was never supposed to be given in the first place, I was able to say this and only offer what he was really tagged for. Once again he begins to lose it. It plays out the same as it did last time. I explain that this is the best we can offer, he throws a fit, wants to speak to a manager. Again, managers are not there to apply better discounts. Sometimes we do have something called a documented promise where if in the notes someone was offered something, say $50 off and it didn't go through, we can still apply it. He could have lied and said he accepted it and it never went through, and the documented promise policy would have made it so we had to give him that discount. In this case, because Fred and I both wrote in the notes that he declined that offer, it was gone for good. I once again transfer him to a manager and stick around to hear the fallout. The manager did not budge, told him the same thing, that $15 off was the only option, and once again it ends with him hanging up. I unfortunately never figured out what happened with Mark's account, but here's what could have happened. 1. He is still paying the in-market price for his services, which is a lot more than what he was paying before. 2. He accepted the $15 off and is still paying more than before. 3. He canceled with us and moved to a competitor, one less problematic, rude and entitled customer. Moral of the story, be nice to the other person on the phone. If you're nice, an agent will most likely be more willing to go above and beyond for you. If you're a dick, in my case at least, I'm doing the bare minimum for you and definitely will not bend the rules for you. Again, most agents can't do that anyways, and in this case I had access to these discounts most likely by mistake. You should still be nice to the person on the other end of the phone regardless. Thanks for listening.